Yeah, Friday's chip paper. Britain is famous for its fish and chips, and arguably it's still our favorite takeout. We especially treat ourselves still on a Friday evening, along with mushy peas, some with gravy. It's also a summertime treat at the seaside, and that's where things take a darker turn. Before World War II, chips were usually served either in white paper, fashioned into a cone, or as a packet of chips in the same blank paper with a protective grease-proof sheet. During the war, the daily newspaper replaced the fresh virgin white paper to reduce cost. Everyone read the paper back then, as we all wanted to know how our lads were doing on the war front. As ordered by ministers of the government at the time, fish and chips should not be subject to rationing, presumably because supply of the fish and potatoes was still plentiful, but also to maintain the morale of those keeping the lights on for those fighting aboard. Little did the people of some sleeper seaside towns know that they were about to get more than a fish supper. Porton Down was a military research facility in Wiltshire, opened during the previous World War. It specialised in developing weapons using chlorine, mustard gas and phosgene. After the outbreak of the Second World War, a microbiologist, Dr. Paul Fieldles, was employed at Porton Down to experiment on natural psychotropic compounds derived from fungi. The aim of the program was to create a formula and delivery system capable of disarming enemy platoons by causing delirium. Early test on British forces, volunteers under the top secret program, resulted in effects ranging from terrament on natural psychotropic compounds derived from fungi. But a mild dose of the psychotropic compound was to be tested in several small geographic areas where military bases and medical teams trained and equipped to deal with any issues arising from the field trials. Wickham in Devon, Weston-super-Mare in Somerset and Seascale in Cumbria were identified as the most suitable for the field testing program. This was due to the nature of the towns, and the local fish and chip dish would provide ample opportunity to introduce the compound. The local military bases were tasked with intercepting the returned newspapers of the day and replacing them with a laced version containing the experimental compound. Although records are patchy, the field trial was cut short after the local military medical teams reported a substantial increase in childhood delinquency and a marked increase in suicide. In other words, the dosage that the seaside towns had been unwittingly receiving was far too high. What Dr. Fieldles had not anticipated was that far from fish and chips being just a Friday night affair, the children especially would usually share a large bag each night between them. In other words, the dosage the seaside towns had been unwittingly receiving was far too high.